$3,307 the other day before the launch, and the interesting thing about it is that 0 new people purchased from me. What you may also find interesting is that I didn't run ads or webinars or anything like that. The money actually came from the system I built earlier, and it uses like a simple Facebook funnel and AI, and you can run it on literally free tools. And in this video, I want to show you the high-level view of the entire system, how it works, and how you can plug it into your own business. So with all of that said, let's dive into the screen. So this is one part of the system, and what's interesting is that on that day, I had a couple of people enrolling here in the high ticket. But to make that happen, all of these things need to work in harmony together to make this happen. So I want to show you how it works, what are the key pillars that you need to have, and again, how you can do it in your own business. Now for context, I'm doing this with currently about 5,700 followers on Facebook, and I crossed about $500,000 in sales with just this following, so you can definitely do it even if you don't have a ton of people. Now, a system has multiple parts. I mainly split it into front-end and back-end. Front-end is my way of generating traffic, eyeballs, interest, and back-end is turning them into leads and eventually customers, clients, etc. So as far as the front-end, there are I want to say 3 key pillars. This is talking on Facebook. It might be similar on your platform, but the pillars are: I need relevant people who will see my content and my offers, right? So that's step number 1. I need to know my ideal avatar, where they are, and basically get their attention. This can be through content. Sometimes Facebook will serve your content and it will pull new followers. This is like on all other social media platforms, but what makes Facebook unique and what I love about it is that I don't need to just wait for followers. I can be proactive. I can go to the targeted places, the groups, the gurus, etc., who have my ideal avatar already, like congregations of these people, and simply add them as friends, right? And if I had 20 people, 10 accept, and you do this for a month, you can add 300 plus targeted people on your list. Keyword being targeted, not any followers, targeted people, and merge this with followers that maybe you get from your content, and you can get a decent chunk of new relevant people. So that is step number 1, right? Now step number 2 will be obviously, so step number 1 is growing that profile with relevant people. Step number 2 on the front end side will be to create content for these people. Now what I personally started doing lately, I love to follow the top, middle, and bottom of the funnel content. So top being broader content that is there to attract new people, get eyeballs, get followers. Mid of the funnel is usually to build trust, a bit of pre-selling, also get followers. And bottom of the funnel is there to convert those followers to leads, usually build even deeper trust, etc., etc. So I usually post once to twice a day, probably more. Once on my profile, I do have a free Facebook group, which you can find in the description. And I do try to post once in a group and once or twice on my profile, right? And I try to capture each one of these pieces. So my content, broadly speaking, is usually talking about problems my ideal avatar has, beliefs and wrong beliefs they hold. So maybe one of your beliefs was like, oh, I need whatever 100,000 people following me to make this amount of money, and I'm showing you that you can make it with really small amount of money. So I talk about their problems. Maybe your problem is generating leads in the first place, and this video or some other video I create will help you, right? I talk about results. This is more like bottom of the funnel content. So I talk either about my results or my clients' results, how they crossed multiple 6 figures, or how they made their first high ticket sale, and so on and so forth. I can talk about benefits, so what they want to achieve, personal stories. You get a point, but the overarching theme is to attract new people, build trust, and eventually convert these followers, because followers are okay, but I'm much more interested in later converting them to leads, and leads to customers, and customers to clients. This is usually how it should be going, right? And then I have the messenger, which is there to close people. Sometimes, yes, they can just go to your backend and buy. Sometimes they can see your piece of content and buy. But more often than not, another reason why I love Facebook over other platforms is that I can find these people and I know when they're my friends, they will see my content and they can raise their hands. So you see those two-step posts where I'm like, hey, I have this cool thing. Do you want it? They say yes. I reach out to them over the messenger. And then in the messenger, you can use it like three-way. You can use it to generate leads, which is really good, especially if you're new. You can use it. I use it a lot for follow-up because most of my sales come from following up with people. And number three, for overcoming objections. So a lot of times people are like, but this or that, right? So you need just to walk through them. The newer you are, you need all three. I'm mostly living here because I get usually more than enough leads from my content. But if I ever feel like pushing and wanting more leads, I can also use it to generate leads, which works really well. So this is my front end side. It's there to grow my followers with relevant people, nurture them, and I guess Messenger can be part of the backend because oftentimes people need to see the offers and become leads. So Messenger is like a bridge that can live both on the front end and the backend. So this is part of how I make those over $3,300 in one afternoon. But the cool thing again is that I didn't have big launch, webinar, ads, zero new people purchased. And the reason that happened is the second part of monetization, which is the backend, right? It's this part over here. And the way it works is I have lead magnets that grow my email list that later introduce people to my low and mid ticket offers and as well as high ticket offers. Usually not from lead magnet. Usually they need to become customers or mid ticket clients before they can work with me long term. It's not a rule, but usually how it happens. So lead magnet grows my lists, builds trust, right? And then I can simply invite people to the offers because lead magnet solved one problem for them. And then, as I showed you here, usually they become a follower, they consume content, they're like, oh, good stuff. Then I'm like, hey, do you want this free thing that will help you do X, Y, Z? They're like, sure, I want free thing. And I'm like, let's use buyer here instead of customer, simply to change the C's. And then I'm like, you got value from this thing. I built this super inexpensive thing. If you want it, it will solve your next problem. Yes. So now they become a customer. And once you have this, so this is the least valuable, but still often needed to go to the next step. Then leads are more valuable, much more than followers, but then buyers are valuable much more than leads. So I want to get a buyer. And then sometimes it's mid-ticket clients, so up to $100 or $1,000. And finally, some of these people will ascend to $1,000 or high-ticket clients. And the way I made money was because some people from here just went here, right? That's how I made over $3,000 in a day. But to make this part work, I had to have this part. And I have to have both of these sides working together. Now, for those of you interested in installing this into your own business, I have a free video below. Check it out. It will show you how you can install the exact same system in 4 weeks and start making $1,000, $2,000 every single week and getting new high-ticket clients. Now back to the video. So I had my front end, simply finding the right people, creating content specifically for them, talking to them, right? And then on the other side, on the backend side, I needed to have a system that will bring them, convert them, and ascend them. So this is how it works. If you want to build this system on your own, I do recommend probably starting either with the mid-ticket, especially if you have high-ticket, and or the buyer magnet where you get leads and then you send them into your other offers. And if you don't have this part working, you do need to say like you do need front-end because you can have the best backend system. It's funny, over the last 6+ years that I've been working full-time online, I see that some people are really good on front end, like they're doing a lot of content, talking to people on Messenger and so on and so forth, and they are making sales, but usually they have really inconsistent months and they don't have long-term success, and this is because they're lacking backend. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, I see people over-obsessing with their websites and funnels and stuff, and no one is seeing their stuff. They have zero front end, right? And the key to having like sustaining long-term business that makes you thousands of dollars and even over 5 figures is to actually have both working together. So front end is there to attract and nurture new people, backend is there to monetize them. And the cool thing is now with AI, you can use it all of the way. So for example, for content, I can use it for top, middle, and bottom of the funnel. Ideas, for scripting, for hooks, for CTAs, all of this good stuff. Messenger, I can use it either in a form of CRM, for tracking, for overcoming objections, for reminders, for the follow-up. On this side, I use it even more. I use it for ideas for lead magnets, for actual lead magnets, for building low-ticket offers and making them more valuable, for ideas and conversion and sales copy for mid-ticket offer, high-ticket offer. So when you merge this front-end and back-end with AI, this is where you unlock even more speed and more money and greater client satisfaction, which in turn again gets you even more money. So yeah, this is how I made again $307 without any new people, any new launches, anything in a single day. Alright folks, there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, I really think you're gonna like the one that shows you how with just 5 leads a day, you can make $2,000, $3,000, even $4,000 in a month. So if you want, you can check that one out over here, and I'll see you over there.